Number 44039 sat alone in her shed, waiting for her fate to be sealed. As the rain began to leak through the shed roof, she found herself lost in her thoughts. She had known for a long time that this day would come, but had always hoped for that second chance. But thanks to her recent loss and the closure of her line, she felt the chances of her being saved were growing slim. As the hours rolled by, she believed her working life was finally over. But what she didn't realise was that her new life was only just beginning.
Up to the sky, and like a plane my dreams were passing by, and I awoke the tears that had filled my eyes. I need to spread my wings out and fly. I lie awake at night with these memories of feeling powerless, and they're haunting me. I'm always reaching out for this destiny to make it happen, that's all I need. Cruel fate sets in motion, and no one else knows why. Waiting for the day to come, when will it show up, claiming what's before my eyes. With every issue, I gotta breathe through. Just pass. They all told me I can't. They were laughing. Well, look who's laughing now. Now I can feel the fire burning deep within me. I'll be the hero and no one can stop me. Loudly I will scream it from the top of my lungs. You got those tired eyes from crying every moment. You cannot hide it. Someone's gonna notice. I'll be your hero. No one's gonna hurt you again. Gonna raise my hand with the peace I. Our story will last forever.
(1960). Dieselisation was in full swing, and the restoration of the Swanick and Penkridge Railway was well underway. And number 44039, or Rachel, was their first engine, and she was immensely grateful to have been saved. She and a loaned 03 diesel shunter named Liam shared the work between themselves. Whilst one would ferry the supplies to and from the various work sites along the line, the other would arrange the several consists of rails, sleepers, ballast and other materials in the main yard at Penkridge, and then arrange the empty trucks for the mainline engines to take away. However, as the weeks turned into months, the General Manager and Mr. Charles Bettridge decided that the two engines needed more help. So, after a word with the board of directors, they agreed it was time to find their second official engine. And they found one, who Rachel would meet in the autumn of 1960.
What a day. Afternoon, sir. Waiting for someone?
Oh, afternoon, Rachel. Yes, actually, I'm waiting for our new engine.
Oh, what kind are they, sir?
Ah, wait and see. Alright, he's here. Since Liam isn't here right now, I'll need you to shunt him into the workshops.
Right.
Rachel couldn't believe her eyes. Standing before her, with patches of rust coating his paintwork, was a Billington E2 tank engine. She had never actually seen one before besides a few book illustrations, and had heard of the past thanks to one of her old shed mates. But what she couldn't understand was how others managed to make their way this far up north.
Rachel! Rachel, stop! Slow down!
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I've had worse, trust me. You were distracted, weren't you?
How did you know?
You didn't respond to your driver's control. But don't stress about it, it's happened to me more than a few times.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, of course, where are my manners? Alexander, Alex for short. And you are?
Rachel, pleased to meet you.
Thank you, Rachel.
No problem. I'll just go and grab those trucks. Be right back. Ugh, that Liam.
Who?
This O3 diesel shunter that came to help me. He'll probably be leaving once we've finished the line and got more engines. But he's a nightmare. He's always saying I'm slow and out of date.
That's an original insult.
Why, just 10 minutes ago, he told me to hurry up with the load of trucks that just arrived. He couldn't be more rude if he tried.
Let me speak to him.
What? But he's...
I know. Do you know where he is right now?
Yes, he's in the shed.
Tell him the new engine wants a word.
Okay, if you're sure.
Right, here he is, gentlemen. Our new engine.
Yeah, not really what we were expecting, Charles.
Well, what were you expecting?
Ignore them. Embrace your faults so they'll consume you.
I know. That doesn't mean I like it.
Ha! When Rachel said we had a new engine, I was expecting something more modern.
Hello there, you're Liam, correct?
Yeah? What's it to you?
Well, Rachel has told me a bit about you. She also says you were quite rude to her earlier.
All I did was tell her to hurry up and...
And did she?
Well, no, that just shows...
That just shows that shouting and name-calling won't get you anywhere. You ought to respect your elders and those around you.
And why should I? They never respect me.
Because you don't respect them. And respect needs to go both ways, it's just common sense. You can learn a lot from those who are older and wiser. If you respect them, they'll learn to respect you. You see what I mean?
Well,
You can agree with me. There's nothing stopping you. What's wrong, Liam?
nothing's wrong, it's just steam engines are never, you know, like you.
You want to know why that is? Diesel engines, much like yourself, are replacing steam engines up and down the country, taking their work. When they have no more work to do, it's off to the scrapyards. Most steam engines are cruel to diesels, not because they want to be, but because they feel threatened. They fear of losing not only their jobs, but their homes, colleagues, friends, brothers, sisters, and their lives. What those engines don't seem to realise is that history is simply repeating itself. Older engines are being phased out by more modern technology. After all, that's just how it's always been. And it has been ever since I was your age. You should probably head back to the sheds now. It's getting late. With that, Liam slowly rolled back to the sheds with a lot on his mind. He couldn't deny that Alex had made some good points. Could it be that everything the Diesels had told him, everything he'd heard, was a lie? There had been something the old engine had said. Something that really made him think. If only he could remember what it was. History is simply repeating itself. What exactly had he meant by that? But the more he thought about it, the more sense it made. And the more he began to worry. What if, someday, somewhere, something would be built to replace him? So, how is he?
Pretty good, actually. Nothing a bit of welding couldn't fix. It's all just a lot of wear and tear, really, and his boiler's good for at least another 5 years. We're just giving him a steaming test now. If all goes well, he'll be ready by this afternoon.
Excellent. Do what you must. Alex dozed comfortably as the fire's warmth spread through his boiler for the first time in weeks. Whilst he was in a better condition than when he first arrived, it was obvious he needed a much more thorough overhaul. However, due to the lack of time and proper equipment, the railway simply had to make do with what they had. But Alex didn't mind. Why would he? After all, he was outside and well away from scrap. Though he was worried about his brothers and sisters, and hoped like anything that they would be safe, if only for a little while longer. By the afternoon, all the tests were done. As Alex's moving parts were being oiled, Rachel backed down next to him. Afternoon, Rachel. Any news?
Well, actually, you could say that. Liam has barely said a word all day, and just this morning he apologised for how rude he was yesterday. What on earth did you say to him?
The truth.
What do you mean?
Well, long story short, I gave him something to think about. The thing is, he's not really a bad engine. He was just raised that way. If he were a bad engine, he likely would have cut me off and started spouting nonsense instead. But he didn't. In fact, he just sat there and listened to what I had to say. A bad engine would never do that.
I suppose not.
So, is there anything else I should know about?
Well, we've made great progress with the line's restoration. We've almost reached Mackworth, and after that we'll be making our way to Ripley and then Swanick. Then we'll be able to make our first test runs.
Oh, excellent. I'll be ready to help as soon as I'm at working pressure.
Great, I'll see you then.
Okay, fire's all good. No leaks. Brakes all checked. Gauge is all okay. Right then, Alex, you're all ready to go. But don't hesitate to tell anyone if anything feels off. Will do, thank you.
Alex, glad I caught you. The Swanick Hall station canopy has almost been completed, and there are still some empty wagons at Swanick Hall that need bringing back to Penkridge. Can you do that?
Certainly, no problem. I can't wait to see this. Afternoon, sir. The station canopy appears to be coming along very nicely. Indeed, the runaround loop and shunting yard are progressing swiftly too. At this rate, we'll be able to run a test run at last. You three have done a grand job. Thank you, sir. When do we open again? In 2 weeks' time, so that gives us plenty of time to prepare. I see. I'll ask my driver to write that down. Goodbye, sir. Good morning, you three. Our first open day is next Monday, so until then we'll be having a sort of soft opening. This way we can assess the line and catch out any faults that may develop. Rachel, you're on passenger work. Alex, goods and shunting work for you. And Liam, shunting and maintenance trains.
Yes,
sir. Excellent. Everyone has a copy of the timetable. Don't hesitate to tell anyone if anything is wrong. Good luck, everyone. Right, what's first for us then? Farm traffic first. We'll head down there now and pick up the wagons. week went by mostly without a hitch, with only minor problems occurring. On Friday, Rachel had stopped at Canlock with her passenger train, on her way back to Penkridge. When it happened. When the driver tried to open the regulator, he found that he couldn't. So the fireman tried, but he couldn't move it either. So they both tried together, but it was no use. The regulator was jammed shut. They were stuck. The driver told the station master, and the station master called the signalman, and the signalman called control to explain the situation. Meanwhile, Alex was hauling a train of fruit and veg to Penkridge, where it would be transferred to a mainline train. Though as they approached Canlock, they passed a yellow signal. Well, that's odd. Rachel should have cleared the section by now. They stopped at the signal, and the station master came running to Alex's cab and explained the situation.
So, Liam's stuck too, eh?
By broken points, yes. So you three will have to help.
Do you think you can do it, lad?
I'll give it a good try.
Sorry about this.
Don't lose sleep over it, Rachel. It's no trouble. should have been here by now.
What's happened?
Rachel's broken down. Alex was behind her, so he's bringing her here.
I knew that E2 was an unreliable investment.
Now listen here. Unreliable, Mr. Blakeworth?
Nothing, sir.
Excellent work, gents. That could have ended up a lot worse. Thank you, sir. Rachel, this is in no way your fault. We may have been able to maintain you sooner, had someone not been bussing over our finances. Anyway, Liam will take you to the workshops and we'll fix your regulator as soon as possible.
Thank you, sir. Alex shouldn't have to carry out rescue missions like that. We definitely need more engines.